What's up, everyone? So today we're back. We're back to our regular scheduled programming here at Loners Podcast headquarters. Number 32.
Yay!
Roll that intro.
Hope you guys are having a great weekend, or about to have a great weekend, because it's Friday.
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 There's some, sadly, I think it's almost like normalized news here, but there was
another shooting.
There's multiple shootings, I feel like, every day in United States, but there was one that stood out that was in, where was it?
Colorado Springs in Colorado.
Yeah. It was in a LGBT nightclub.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, like, it's sad how often, one, this happens, two, whenever something like this happens, I feel like it's just, everyone wants to point fingers at who's to blame, and it's like, people literally lost their lives, people are dead, families are planning funerals, and not only that, people are traumatized from being there. There's also survivor's guilt. Like, there's so much that plays into these type of things happening, and I don't know, it's just like, it constantly, it just feels like it's setting us back.
Yeah.
And I can't be the only person to admit that we are becoming slowly desensitized to this stuff happening here.
I definitely think we are. When it's like, when you don't see, you just see so many people like, just like, yeah, it happens type of like,
or like they talk
response
about it and then it's like old news tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which, it's sad, because like, what do you want everyone to sit here and like
dwell on it
for the next however long? But then at the same time, like, it could be anyone, you know, and it makes us think twice when we want to go anywhere. And it sucks, because it's like, we should be able to just go out and enjoy our lives.
Yeah.
And not fear that like someone is going to
go AWOL and have a weapon.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think there's a lingering fear. I won't say for everyone, but I think in general, when like you go to events or just gatherings, there's a fear here in the States that like that could happen. So like, if you hear some fireworks or loud noises, usually if you're here in the States, you'll see a lot of people react in a negative or scared way.
Yeah, I mean, I know we do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just because it is a fear. It's a fear. Like, it's a fear that we have. Like, it sucks.
We heard fireworks. It sounded a little too close to like a bomb outside.
But it also sounded like automatic weapons too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just sad. Like, at first we kind of let it go because we're like, oh, it's fireworks, no big deal, which we're pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
But then after like a minute, like the sound just didn't sound like it could only be fireworks.
It didn't.
So we're like looking outside. We're like, what's going on?
And then it stopped as soon as you looked.
And it's, I don't know.
It sounded different for sure.
Yeah, I just hate that feeling. But condolences to the families of 5 lives lost. I don't even want, like, I hate that we have to like bring attention to the suspect or like the whoever goes around thinking like they're fucking God to take people's lives. Like, I don't know. I just feel like whenever we end up finding out who the shooter is or the killer, I don't know what you want to say, but there's always like people that are like, oh, it's a mental health crisis. Okay, so give people access to mental health. Oh wait, if we give people access to mental health, then that's gonna take away from my tax dollars, because we're gonna have to. It's just like, it's an endless cycle, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
And then it's like, okay, let's take guns away. No, we can't take guns away. Those are people's Second Amendment right. It's just like, there are solutions to these issues, but like, the people who can make the change for it are paid off.
Well, one, I think they benefit from it not changing, but two, I think we're too far into where we are at right now to go and shift things that drastically.
We're only taking steps backwards constantly, and it's not a positive thing when we become desensitized. It just puts a Band-Aid over the issue by saying, oh, well,
yeah. I mean, it's very sad that majority of us are desensitized to seeing shootings on the news.
Also,
or on
the person
in headlines.
The person in custody, the suspect right now, had a criminal record. Somehow still got his hands on it because his grandfather, I believe, is a politician. And
yeah.
erased his record for him.
Yeah.
So, America for you.
Yeah.
Like, this kid's like 22 years old. His lawyers are now trying to say that he has they them pronouns. I don't buy that. That's, to me, that just sounds like
Is it trying to give him some like type of
it seems like they're trying to like act like it wasn't a hate crime, which, let's be real, it was a hate crime. Regardless if it was or not, like, you killed people. Like, we don't need to label your reasoning at this point. Like, you deserve to be
punished for that.
Punished, period. Yeah. And honestly, your grandfather, I believe it's his grandfather who's a politician out here. He's actually a politician in Southern California. He is a Republican. Surprise, surprise.
You said like in San Diego or something?
I think it's like near San Diego, but like maybe just outside.
Yeah.
Step down. Like, you don't deserve your job anymore. Like, you're disgusting, period. And this is alleged that the grandfather was like, I'm going to make sure my grandchildren have access to firearms. Like, I want them to be able to have that privilege. And
I mean, a lot of people think like that here.
You're gross.
Yeah.
Why do you even live in California?
Like, babe, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of conservative people in California, more than you think.
Leave. We don't want.
Yeah, I know.
Like, clearly, most of the people here don't vote in your favor. So just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of bring that to the light. If you haven't, I'm sure a lot of people from other countries have heard of that situation. But in their head, they're probably like, "Oh, another shooting in their country."
So
yeah,
skip this part, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's fine.
Or listen. I mean, it just sucks what we have to speak about and hear about in our media all the time.
Yeah.
But without further ado, this video has been highly, highly, highly requested. Probably more than people telling us to watch Jim Jeffries, right?
Yeah, I think so. This one, so today we're gonna do how the U.S. ruined bread. This is gonna be interesting. I'm
almost certain nothing will surprise me here, but we're still gonna watch it.
All right, here we go.
And it is by who?
Oh yeah, sorry. So it is by someone named Johnny Harris. 3.13 million subscribers.
Okay, Johnny.
All right, let's see.
Sweet.
Let's see, okay. Johnny.
He has a lot of videos on the side.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go.
I love bread. There is so much good bread in France.
And although man doth not live by bread alone, without it the meal seems incomplete.
On every corner, there is a bakery that is pumping out delicious, fresh, well-made bread.
It's so fresh.
This is not easily available to me, and I want to know why. Why is it that the bread that I can get easily looks very, very different? Why is it that the US sucks at making bread? In fact, let me just show you what that looks like.
Okay, wait, it's 12 hours earlier, still back in the US. I'm actually at a grocery store right now. This is how a lot of us Americans get our bread. Sigh. My favorite part is when they make this plastic look like it's steaming. It's just like foggy plastic.
That's so true.
To be like, this was just baked right now. And it's like, no, this was actually baked like 3 weeks ago in a factory in like Connecticut.
It's even made with real butter.
Always buy Wonder Bread. You'll be glad you did.
The reason I'm purchasing this bread is because I want to bring it with me to France, just to like have an example lesson, and I may use it as a pillow because it's literally as soft as a Nova foam pillow. Some of this bagged bread is made with ingredients that are literally illegal in the EU. Back to France.
Okay, wait.
How is he taking that with him then? If those
maybe in France it's not
illegal. I didn't know if he said France. Okay,
yeah. Bad. So I think I'm one of like the naive people on bread here because I don't really know too much about bread in general, but wherever you guys are from, let us know like if you've tried American bread and you're just like what you think about it.
Right. But, I mean, I do know there are special cases with people who like grow their own wheat and like like they have their own, they make it from scratch, so that's different. But like grocery store bread here is trash. It really does suck. And do you remember when Subway, like not too long ago, they said that I don't even know if it was like the FDA or someone was saying that their bread isn't even bread technically because it has so much sugar in it that it should be considered like a pastry or something.
Oh man, no, I didn't know that.
It happened like a couple years ago.
Let's do it.
There is nothing more American than Wonder Bread.
I'm going to France.
France looks
In
nice.
case you're wondering, yes, any video from Paris must include music like this. Nice, gentle cafe accordion music. There's my composer Tom making it right now.
It's pretty cool.
It's just so good. Okay, so yeah, we know that France is good at bread and the US sucks at it. Is this just another video where I shit on the USA for being terrible at certain things? Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. But hear me out. I actually have something to say here. I believe that bread is a really important symbol for a bigger cultural phenomenon in the US. And that's what I want to talk about today. Where industrialized bread came from, why it exists, and how some people are trying to change it. I'll get to that explanation, but first I'm going to go into that bakery over there and buy myself a large ball of butter and flour stuffed with chocolate. Oh, and Tom, can you throw in a beat to this accordion music, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Carl.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so why bread? There's a million other things I could talk about that are better in other parts of the world, but it turns out that bread is the most important prepared food that humans have ever made, and therefore it is worth talking about. So, let me explain in under a minute the overview of the tens of thousands of years of history of bread and its chemistry, and why it's so important. Don't think I can do it in under a minute? Check this out. 12,000 years ago, humans realized that they could plant this grass instead of just foraging for it. This grass was called wheat, and when it was ground up with a stone, it made this powder that, if you put water with it, creates this stretchy, goopy thing that has a bunch of sugar from the flour that's been released. Oh look! Wow! All the bacteria in the air love this sugary goop. Nice. And they descend to feast on it, burping out gas as they eat. Whoa, the gas can't float up into the air because it's getting trapped in this stretchy ball of goop. Like a balloon, like a pillow, like magic. Magic. All this feasting and burping is making it rise and turn into a pillowy thing that is way bigger than it was. Put this blob next to some fire, and all of the little bubbles that were just created turn hard. Wait, all of this can happen because of this one grass? Yes. Cool, let's plant a lot more of this grass and build all of human civilization off of it, said humans.
What? Okay, you really think that that was the thinking of...
I don't think that was their original plan. I think they just saw it as a cheap way to like feed themselves.
Yeah.
Because it is. You don't have to like wait for.
Because you can just plant like almost endless amounts of
and
it.
I'm
huh?
sure wheat grows way faster than like produce.
I mean, that is interesting because like in those times you could probably, you'd be like, oh, if we have to rely on it, we can just keep eating bread.
Yeah.
And like the wheat.
I mean,
yeah.
bread's good. I love bread.
Yeah. You do like bread a lot. Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
No. I'm just saying like.
You like pizza. Half
I
of
love
that's
pizza.
bread.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right.
So that is bread, like the oldest and most important prepared food item that humans have ever invented. Eventually, humans got really good at doing this bread, flour, water, yeast thing. And especially here in France, they took it really seriously and have created a whole culture around making bread delicious and amazing. And you can see that they've continued that culture today just by the number of
those
bakeries.
Just look
delicious.
So much more fresh than any sandwiches you see here.
I agree.
It's just something about the color of the bread and the brightness. It looks so much better.
Yeah, I mean that would be like just
it's
stale
making
bread
me,
here.
It's making me miss Italy because Italy they had really good like gelato and pastries.
I'm getting like kind of not depressed, but like I'm like, ugh, I
Yeah.
miss traveling.
Like that, yeah.
Okay, excuse us.
Bakeries that exist in this city. There are 30,000 independent bakeries in France. Compare that to the 3,000 that are in the United States. And then remember that the US has like a much larger population. And if you do all the math, you see that France has 50 times more bakeries per capita than the United States. 50 times. I mean, that is such a clear indication of how much they value good bread that is baked a certain way.
Here with Mr. Local over here.
Local French food in France.
Yes.
94% of Parisians live less than 5 minutes away from a bakery.
That's convenient.
And
That's
that shows you they care. They care. It's like you hear stuff like that and you're like, this is their priority.
Yeah.
And the culture of eating is just as much important here as how like the ingredients are sourced and prepared and whatnot.
Yeah.
People don't eat while rushing towards their next meeting or whatever. Like it's very much, no, you sit down, you make it.
So
I love that though. That
I
eating
know,
is like,
man. I want that here so bad. I feel like here we take for granted little moments like that.
yeah, we eat as like maintenance to
Like
not
to
pass
just
out.
hurry up and do it on the way
Yeah.
to like going to work or doing something. But like I feel like in other countries like this,
It's
you
an
guys really
experience.
value the time to experience the food. Yeah, I just feel like people in these other countries really do value that, and it's just like I love the no rushing thing.
Yeah, it seems like they prioritize like
Enjoyment.
yes, like enjoying your food. Yeah. I don't feel like it's like that here at all.
You were saying,
sucks.
yeah, her cousin. I don't know if it's an app, but that thing that says like where you align with is like a.
Oh, this is completely off topic.
It is, but
I'm gonna have to like get the actual like verbiage right before I say this, but it's pretty much like a lot of spiritual people use this, where you enter like your
like how you are, kind of.
your name, your first, last. I think it's like your birthday and the time you were born, and it does like this whole chart of the world. And like if you select like where would I be more successful, or like where would I enjoy my passions more, and like it has like these lines that like go in a weird pattern. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
And like depending on which color the line is, like say the green line is like where I would be the most financially successful, and like if that line lands on certain parts of whatever country, like, you know what I mean? Because obviously it's running through water too, but like if it crosses over like, I don't know, like Thailand, then it's like, oh, you're more likely there than you are in
Where you are now,
Indonesia or whatever.
okay,
You know what I mean? Yeah. It literally like just goes over where those pinpoints that you might find more success in certain areas of your life. I'm doing a terrible job describing that.
No, it makes sense. I want
Mine shows, I forgot the title, but mine for like the like where you're probably gonna have the most problems in your life literally comes right over where I live. So I'm like, okay.
I do have to say, I think that both of us and our spirits, I guess, or the way we are about the way we think about life, it doesn't align so much with like these big cities, well, like New York, LA. Like I think it's just too much.
For me, I love the beach. I love the sun. Like I love our city. I don't love what, I don't want to say the word capitalism, but pretty much has done to our city.
Yeah.
And we live in a city where everyone's coming to for the next level in their life. Like they're willing to stomp on anyone out here to get ahead.
Yeah.
And I hate that because I'm like, I just enjoy the nice weather and the fact that my family is close.
Yeah.
And
She's
I probably
from
take
here.
that for granted.
Yeah, she's from here. I'm not from here.
He's
LA.
from Texas. I'm from Los Angeles. Yeah. So I don't know. But I understand that I live in a city that most people wish they could live in.
Yes.
That, or at least people in the U.S.
Yeah.
If they are trying to do something in the entertainment industry.
Or even just for the weather.
Yeah, or the weather. But it kind of strips away the humanity out here. Everyone comes out here for like a purpose if they aren't from here.
Yeah.
And it's not usually a wholesome one. It's usually
No.
to like claw their way to the top.
Yeah.
Or to prove something to whoever they want to show off to, which is exhausting in its own. And just driving around out here, we're totally getting off topic, by the way.
I know.
Driving around out here, you can feel
Tension.
Yeah. Just people so angry
a
lot of the time. Like people, everyone's like, me first.
Yeah. It's
I
super
come
like
first.
that. Yeah. It's so much like that.
Paying attention to like the traffic laws here is almost a choice. Not really legally, not really, but like you would think people would stop at a red light. No, to them that's a yellow light. Like it just like everyone's in a rush all the time. And I know people who live in the East Coast, if anyone knows anyone who has been out there, is probably laughing at me right now because I've never been to New York, but I have heard that it
They're
is
even more.
more. Like, they think we're relaxed. I think we're on another level of chaos. So I don't even, I would never want to live there.
I would just say that
But I would want to visit.
Most people are unaware because they're wrapped up in their own world.
Well, also New York, people aren't driving nearly as much.
No, I know, but I'm saying like here when these things happen, like people just like aren't even aware that there's anyone else on the road when they do things. They just like
they don't care.
Yeah. But
the amount of times I've seen I see a car accident out here on like every single day.
Yeah,
it's not even a
one,
question, and that's not even on the freeway. That's like just in our little hub.
area. But yeah, we
we totally went off track.
Sorry.
Maybe you could put a marker of us rambling so they could skip this
Yeah.
part if they don't want to listen. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
The thing, it's just a part of the way of life here.
Yeah.
People come into the boulangeries almost on a daily basis, and they check in with each other. It's like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm doing great. This is what's happening.
Why? That is the question. Why are these bread cultures so different? And the answer comes down to what America was founded on. I mean, a reminder that America is a country founded by a bunch of people who left their country to go make a new life, to do things differently, to do things more individualistically. And the way that expressed itself for a really long time was mechanization, industrialization. And to be clear, in the history, Britain was as much to blame for all of this mechanizing of bread as America was.
That's insulting.
But anyway, we're talking about the USA for a little bit. So by the 1920s, you had this machine that was invented, an automatic bread slicer. Hello, convenience, innovation, America. No more serrated knife versus a tough, crusty loaf. Now the machine will do it for you. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, so that's where we're at. This is the greatest thing, says America. And Europe was like, wait, yeah, we like machines too, but like not for bread. Slice this bread and you make your bread spoil faster. We don't need a machine for sliced bread. But the automatic slicer was just the beginning for America.
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Now that we have sliced bread that, yes, spoils faster, let's make it, I don't know, not spoil as fast. One way to do this is to take the part of the wheat berry that has oils in it, the husk and the bran, and get rid of it. Focus on the big, carb-loaded berry in the middle. But there had to be a more industrial solution to make the bread last longer, to be whiter, to be softer. And it's the 1950s, and Europe is like, whoa, dude, America, chill out. Like, bread is just bread. We've been doing this for literally tens of thousands of years. Let's just, like, stick to the program. And America's like, no. So America starts adding all of this stuff to their bread, bleaches and dough conditioners. And suddenly they're putting their bread into controlled chambers so that it will be hot enough to rise faster. And they're putting preservatives in so that their bread can now sit on a shelf for not just 1 or 2 days like it should, but 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, a whole week, and it's still soft. It is still white. It is still spongy and delicious. But it now has 15 ingredients instead of 3. And it's cheap and convenient and stable, and America is loving this, and Europe is like, whoa. You took this way too far. This is not bread anymore. And indeed, I would argue that this is not bread anymore. This is a bread-like substance. It's a different product made from a different process, and yet we use the same word for it. If you want to know more about what's inside of this kind of bread, I was actually here making this video when I stumbled upon a video from one of my favorite YouTubers, Adam Ragusea, that's like a deep dive into all of the ingredients in this kind of industrial bread. Definitely go check it out. Some bread in the US has taken it so far that they will put in additives that keep it spongy and soft, or that keep it really white, even though these additives are known to like cause cancer and inflame asthma and do all of these terrible things. I mean,
you know, this really sucks, man, because it's like you think like there really is
like,
a
how
motive
could you fuck up
behind
something
this.
as simple as bread?
I'm not saying bread is easy. I mean, it sounds kind of easy to just...
I mean, it's obviously its own art form. Like, people really, like...
Yeah, they do, like, very good things with it. But it's like, if you just let it be, it would taste so much better, obviously, but then there wouldn't be so much money.
It's the shelf life, I think, because it's like, that's the same reason why people get fast food here. Is like, it's just...
so much easier and cheaper.
Like,
fast.
they know what they're going to get. It's not going to taste a little different this day. It's not going to whatever. But I think that it's like, you're taking out the, like... I don't know
the
the
soul
word.
of it, like
Kind
the life of it.
Or just like the person who's making it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Like I wanna taste that this was handmade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
do.
don't
I
want to
do.
feel like this shit was made in a factory and bagged up
Oh, you know,
and thrown in a grocery store.
I need to do some more. I need to do some more like experimenting with like bread and shit, because I don't think I've really dove into it. Like,
What do you
I
mean?
think I take it for granted whenever I eat bread. I'm just like, oh, it's just bread. Like whatever.
Have you had good bread before?
I don't think so. I want to like really try like good bread. Like,
yeah,
like where it's like they put like a lot of effort into making it fresh as possible, and it's
Yeah.
like very good. I don't think I've ever really tried
I
that.
also think in Europe, because of the popular demand there,
I can't believe there's that many bakeries over there.
it's awesome, and they're independent.
Well, that was France, but yeah, you know what I mean.
No, but
yeah.
I think Europe in general.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll say France for the
Yeah.
sake of the video.
Yeah.
I just feel like because of the demand, they can make bread fresh every day.
Yeah.
And they know it's gonna sell.
That's so true. Yeah.
And
yeah.
it
That's
adds
very
to
true.
the experience. And you did have fresh bread in Italy, by the way, but you probably didn't realize. And whereas out here, it's rare someone's gonna go to a bakery and be like, "Oh, get me a loaf of that ciabatta, or get me a
Yeah.
loaf of that sourdough," and I'm gonna. That's rare. Like the only time I've seen people really buy like fresh bread was when I used to go to the farmer's market every week.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that makes more sense. Those are people who really care about what they're eating and
Yeah, they want
who they're
fresh
buying
product, yeah.
from and all that. But yeah, it's not a huge
industry.
It's not.
Like as a bakery.
People see bread as okay, I'm going to make sandwiches
Yeah,
out of it for
yep.
my kid for school.
Yeah.
And that's it. We don't appreciate
No.
We really don't appreciate
I've
bread
never.
here.
I have to admit, I don't think I've ever really appreciated bread and been thought like, let me actually try some really good bread. I think I just think of it like I need it for my burger, or I need it for my sandwich. I need it for this.
Yeah, and it's rare you'll go to a restaurant out here that like serves fresh bread. That stuff that wasn't like pre-frozen and ordered in a box and thrown on your table like dinner rolls or whatever. But I would agree, before I was in the culinary industry, I didn't appreciate bread the way I do now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I still think I don't appreciate it nearly as much as I would if I was there.
In like a European country or something like this, yeah.
I do love a fucking good croissant though.
Yeah.
Like that is something we had a lot in Italy, and you could taste it night and day.
Yeah,
Night and day.
that is true. That is true.
So delicious.
The pizza that I ate over there,
Ugh.
like the bread of it was just it almost it tasted like almost like pita.
Okay, this is gonna sound. It tastes like naan. This is gonna
Naan,
sound weird.
yeah, naan. Sorry, naan.
Okay, I don't know if this is the best way to describe it, but I feel like you can almost taste every ingredient in it when you're somewhere else. Like when we were in Italy, I feel like we could taste. There was no more than 4 ingredients.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
That bread.
Yeah, and here in this one, you can almost taste like it's like an artificial.
It makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, it does.
There's nothing to write home about our bread. You're never like, God, you better pick up some of that on the way home.
You gotta pick up some of that amazing Wonder Bread. Oh, it's so fresh.
But I can tell you today, we will still talk about like croissants when we're in Italy. Like,
yeah.
I won't even eat a croissant here anymore because
Yep.
I'm like, ours are fucking trash.
It's true. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you come to the capitalized place of America,
Also,
where everything is processed and has additives.
I mean, it makes sense why when people plan trips, for the most part, I would say it's not uncommon to hear people say like they go for the food. Like people, at least here, like we travel based off almost like where we want to eat.
Yeah, I mean,
like
yeah.
we're like, oh man,
like
yeah.
Italy and Thailand.
But dang.
They're so good. I mean, the food in Italy was just so good.
Yeah.
It just tasted so fresh. Maybe it's also us being there in a
pasta.
different setting, but I do think it
is a
tasted
little.
way more fresh.
Because it is.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
But now I'm getting hungry.
I know, me too.
These additives that are legal to be put in American bread are literally illegal in Europe and many other countries. Azodicarbonamide is one of them. This is a whitening agent. But you know what? This product, ADA, also helps other things stay softer, like yoga mats. ADA is in yoga mats to make them spongy and soft, and it is banned in the EU and many other countries. Our obsession with convenience, cheapness, softness, shelf life has led us down a really dangerous path, and yet we're totally okay with it somehow. This is why I think bread is a useful symbol for broader American culture. It shows us how far we are willing to go to prioritize things like cheapness and convenience over tried and true methods that have been baked into culture.
Of course, industrialized bread exists here as well. It doesn't have some of the carcinogenic ingredients that are not allowed in the EU, but it still has all of the dough conditioners, bleaches, still artificially risen, all of that. The difference is that it is rare. It is much more rare here. What is much more common is the ability to go to your local bakery and get bread that only has a few ingredients. And it's the ingredients that humans have been using for tens of thousands of years to make this staple food.
The feeling that I generally have is that this is how it should be. And then when I go elsewhere and you have other kinds of bread that last kind of bizarre amounts of time, you know, you're like, this is not really how it should be. You get calibrated to kind of this new standard here, and it kind of ruins you.
Turns out Paris is low-key one of the most bikeable cities I've ever been in, but it used to not be like that. Like last time I was here, it was not this bikeable. I smell some urban design policy changes afoot here.
Someone tried to change this in the US a few years ago, a company called Panera.
What could be better than a visit to Panera Bread?
Tried to bring like European bread culture to the United States. And they did. They had high quality, delicious bread. But what happens next is potentially the best metaphor for America.
Hello, I like money.
They got a business loan so they could expand. And then they got investors and they started to expand and scale. And then they were purchased in a massive merger. And now they're planning to go public on the public stock exchanges. Like they just became a massive corporation who does not focus on making quality artisan bread. Instead, they're now just a machine pumping out bread that kind of looks and feels like European bread, but is now done in a uniform, mass-produced, industrialized process, all in the name of scale and profit.
Wow, they have it! Canned bread!
So the question is, why does this matter? Like, am I just being a snob who's like, traditional bread is better and therefore everyone should have it and I hate America?
That was snobby. You're a snob.
No, I'm not.
Kind of, yeah. But also, it actually makes a difference in how it goes into your body. The beauty of bread always was that you could put this goop out in the air and bacteria would come down and start to feast on it and kind of start the digestion process. That is what natural fermentation does, is it starts to break down the wheat and make it ready to go into your body. The way that we make bread in America doesn't really leave time for this. We use heat and chemicals to speed this process up, to make it rise faster, to make it rise bigger in an artificial, synthetic way. And so you're actually getting a much inferior product to what original bread making looks like and what it produces. Yes, it lasts longer. Yes, it tastes like chewy, pillowy, sugary heaven, but it's not bread the way that humans have been eating it for tens of thousands of years. Convenience, scale, independence, that is what we love in America. We love shelf life. We love...
Yeah, and it's sad because I think like with multiple industries that especially have to do with food and other things, we are corporations here for food. Like our food industry, most things that go into our body are huge corporations.
There just feels like there's no integrity behind anything anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that do actually try to bring that always get either bought out or just paid off to just sell out and become a corporation,
right,
like a part of a corporation.
Right, and I do feel like because we are living in a city that we can actually go to, like we could go to a bakery here.
Yeah.
It's not at every corner, but we could easily find one. Whereas I feel like other people, like other states that are kind of like more in the middle. Very true. They probably don't. I'm sure like the East Coast and the West Coast probably have easy access. I don't think any, in between.
Yeah, well, if you, like you're saying to go to like a small town where they don't really even, maybe like all the people there, they mainly just eat like Carl's Jr. or something, like, you know what I mean? Like there are those really tiny towns.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't think independent bakeries will thrive there.
No, yeah.
People don't have that, like they didn't grow up with that fresh baked bread. Yeah. A lot of restaurants and cafes here are I don't know if they're independent owned, but they're not franchises and they're definitely like cultured.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the integrity of the...
So a lot of these kids who grew up here, like that went to these little places, I'm sure, or their parents brought back stuff from these like cafes and whatever.
Yeah.
Out here, like they probably have a little bit more of a taste for this type of stuff. But America as a whole, no. It's so convenient to go to a grocery store and buy a fucking loaf of bread that's trash.
That stays in your shelf or your fridge for like months.
Yeah. My dad I don't know if he still does, but he would like freeze bread and then only take it out at slice as he was using it.
Well, like I said the other day, and it's an obvious thing, I guess, but I guess I'm naive that I never really thought about it, but I was just like, oh, like in any type of food, if it goes bad faster, it's better for your body, right?
Like
if it spoils really fast, then it probably means that it's more fresh for your body.
Exactly. Yes.
'Cause
sorry, the way you worded that was
I worded it weird. I'm sorry, but anything that
if
lasts,
it lasts
like,
too long, it's not good for you. Yeah,
it's a
sitting
lot
in
of
your
additives
body.
and preservatives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why like you can get a Big Mac and they can look fine for like 2 weeks in your fridge. It's fucking weird.
Oh God, I mean I do like the other guy was saying like that we just get used to it, and it's this is not the way it should be.
Well, some people just don't know better. Like I wouldn't know better if I didn't grow up here and to
Culinary field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
But it's
I do.
As a whole, no, it's not integrated in our fucking
culture
world here.
Yeah,
like it's
culture,
just not.
Which our culture here in the United States is quick, processed, convenient.
Add extra cheese.
Just as fast as possible.
Make it times XXXL, extra large.
Yeah.
Enough to feed an army.
Yeah. I think we just want everything very quick.
Yeah, we are. We're
impatient.
Yeah, we're
very
impatient. We need instant gratification.
Yeah.
I do think humans as a whole have kind of gone downhill in that department.
Yes. But
instant gratification factor.
It's funny to see like this video that I think is like 4 months old, and it's cool to see like these places that are still like have these traditions of food and things that go into your body.
Because I think to them it's not like
it shouldn't be corporized or corporized. It shouldn't become like a corporate thing like that.
Yeah, and it's like they take way more pride in their food there.
That's what I'm saying. We should take more pride in our quality of our ingredients. And also like it's so amazing to me how the EU literally will ban things that are bad for your health, so it can't go in your food and you can't consume it. It's like
it's almost like they give a shit.
It doesn't make sense here that we just pretty much approve like everything to be in food, so you can just eat literally. You can consume everything, even if it tastes so good.
The less sick people, the less people in the hospitals, right?
Well, they actually, yeah.
The more sick people, the more people who need to be in hospitals.
Especially because it benefits these corporations for people to go into hospitals.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
Industrialized efficiency. And to me, yeah, all that stuff is super great because it means we get to live these wonderful, prosperous, convenient lives. But I think we lose something really big when we focus on those as the priorities as opposed to quality and community and culture. Last thing I'll say here is that this is slowly changing. You have a movement in the US of people making some of the best bread in the world using the most traditional methods and ingredients. In these big cities, you have amazing bakeries doing bread that is on par with anything you could get in Europe. And that kind of blows my mind. The problem is, and my critique, is that that is still so rare and specialty and really only available to people who live in big urban areas.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the rest of us, the most accessible bread to us is this industrial, mass-produced garbage.
Belongs in the trash!
And that is enough to make me pretty frustrated.
Yeah, I think what he was also saying was that, like, if you go to a nice bakery that gives you fresh bread, it's like, wow, luxurious.
Yeah.
But like in Europe, it's like, yeah, it's a corner fucking bakery. That's just normal.
Well, because what the other guy said was like, he said pretty much like wherever you live, every corner will have a bakery.
And if you don't want to go to the bakery to grab your bread, then you don't want it that bad. You know what I mean?
But if there's one almost in every corner, it's very convenient probably to just jump in and grab it.
Once you smell it, you like, come on. Yeah. You're going in that bakery.
You know, I gotta admit, this guy.
I like his style.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hit that subscribe button just like you guys should hit. subscribe button for this channel too if you enjoyed that. This was very interesting, and I honestly, the video was a lot better put together and presented than I even imagined it could be. But
it was captivating.
Because when I heard like about bread, I'm like, oh, it's just bread, and then I'm like, oh my god, wow, bread! I didn't realize how
we fuck up everything.
Yeah, I was like, wow, we even took this one thing that could be so easily just kept the way it is. Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's super simple to make, even though some breads actually are. I know like certain ones you gotta like have starters and like they take days and all that stuff.
I just wish that we really valued quality.
Me too.
I just really wish, like, that's something I see in other countries, especially with food, and it's just like, why can't we have that here? I think it's because the majority of people have accepted already just the quick process shit.
I honestly feel like some generations don't value culture because it makes them feel like they'd rather be ignorant to certain things than to like say, oh, what's that? That's interesting. Like, let me, try that. Let me see how
you're
that
almost
would
saying
be.
like a pride in not wondering.
I don't know if it's like that resistant, like, oh, I'm too good for that. But I think people just like to stick with what they know, and a lot of people here know Wonder Bread, and they're fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a
what
kid.
You said, yeah, that's true.
I remember being a kid and seeing Wonder Bread commercials, and like, Wonder Bread was the bread. It's still in stores. It's not nearly as popular, I don't think, now, but it was, when you thought of sliced bread, that was the brand.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't picking up any other brand. Obviously, there's a ton more now, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I've tried Wonder Bread, that brand specifically.
You've never had Wonder Bread?
I don't know. I just grabbed bread.
It is white. It was so white.
You know, I have gotten that one bread that they had that they showed, the artisanal.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
that.
oh, this looks fancy, because
honestly, the packaging does feel.
And I'm like, oh, this must be like some Italian bread or something. And I just grabbed it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm so ignorant to bread. Like, this is one topic that I really admit I don't know shit about.
That's why so many people have told us.
Yeah, and I'm going to really do more research into bread, and I'm gonna try, I'm gonna go to bakeries now, and I'm gonna really try some good bread. Maybe we'll do a vlog on it on our other channel. Yes. Like trying really good bakeries or something.
Yeah. You don't have to convince me to eat bread.
I know. If you guys haven't, go follow our vlog channel. I'll put the link in the bio, or in the description. But yeah, you guys should go check it out. It's just us kind of doing fun little things in everyday life. Yeah.
Honestly,
if you enjoy us, yeah.
Yeah. If you enjoy us. What?
I think our dog farted.
And on that note, we're out of here. I don't smell it.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh, I smell it. Okay.
All right, bye guys. We'll see you later.
No shit.